Okay, yesterday we were discussing the theories of punishment. We started discussing theories of punishment. So we need to be aware of in this topic, we need to be aware of the pros and cons associated with retributive theory, retributive theory of justice, then the reformative, another one, and also the ends-based approach, prevention, deterrence, those approach. So basically, it's like one of them is purely ends based. I think you can relate the term ends based. Ends based means outcome based. Means based means punishment is an end in itself. That's all. Retributive theory comes under this, what you call as deontological approach. Deontological approach means punishment is an end in itself. Why should punishment be there? Because you have committed a crime. Crime means you have violated a law. The state will give punishment simply for that, right? So in that, theory of punishment, retributive theory of punishment, the proportion of the punishment will be directly the degree of punishment will be directly proportional to the degree of crime committed. That's it. So natural doubt will be coming: who is going to determine this proportionality? But it's like simply, in religion or in theology and all, philosophy, just like law of karma, definitely the idea of proportionality is there in an implicit way. Because it's like God is telling you, or some scripture is telling you, this is the right path, this is the wrong path. You are given with free will. You are violating that free will. You are violating that freedom that you get. Automatically, there should be punishment. So when it comes to the context of state as well, we need not bother about law of karma and the divine retribution, as in theology. Retribution in theology, we don't need to be bothered about it here. So it is in proportion. It in fact, makes an individual free. Makes an individual free means once you have reaped the fruits of bad deeds that you have committed, then you are free. Just like in the ending notes, I was saying about Mahatma Gandhi's words, that tears will wash away the sin. So likewise, that's the idea. Some ideal behavior deviation means the punishment means it even makes one free of it. And some writers, some sociologists, they like Durkheim, Emily Durkheim, he makes use of the idea of social solidarity. Social solidarity means it's like perhaps you may think about a grave injustice, grave crime, as in the Nirbhaya case or as in the 26/11 attack. Means the whole society is feeling like, our conscience has been hurt. Natural question will be coming like, where is justice here? Definitely there shall be punishment. The society, some people, some sociologists believe society as a whole has a kind of conscience. The society expects a kind of desired behavior, grave deviation from that. Everybody is feeling like, where is justice here? So, in order to reinstate, again the same idea, in order to reinstate the belief in that justice, definitely, just like we apologize, the state or the agency shall deliver punishment. That also can be classified under the retributive theory. Even at times, capital punishment. Capital punishment can be justified, can be criticize. There are different perspectives, but retribution in earlier days means if somebody has committed a murder means in proportional to that, the state will deprive that person of his life. That's it. Got it? This is the retribution. This is deontological theory. Other one means it is the teleological approach. What is teleology? Teleology means purpose based, ends based, outcome based. Why? Punishment means for some desired outcomes we need punishment. What is the desired outcome? Let's say the preventive detention laws in India. Preventive detention. Preventive detention means, in that one, has a person committed the crime. You know the preventive detention laws. Detention, arresting, prevent. When you anticipate that a person may commit a crime. You anticipate. He hasn't committed it. You anticipate. But if you are arresting that person means, it's a punishment only. Somebody is being punished on the anticipation that he will commit a crime. There is nothing like proportion. A kind of disproportionate punishment exists there. Right? And yesterday as well, we were discussing, I was asking whether for corruption, will you give disproportionate punishment, capital punishment? In a big country, big nation, different states, different district administration, many public servants. Suppose the culture of corruption is getting normalized. And where something is normalized, it is going to have grave impact on the society. Because state, as part of social contract, the people trust, at least philosophically trust, the agency known as state that it will ensure welfare. State is constituted by fallible human beings who are fallible. That's it. Somebody should choose that kind of responsible position only if they understand the demand of that job and its implications. That's true. Any job has got, some kinds of pros and cons. Any job has got it. If you feel, reality is that if you feel difficult with those kind of things, then better don't choose. That's how. So somebody is choosing that responsible position, and corruption is getting normalized means, welfare, redistribution of wealth, poverty alleviation, ensuring rights of the people. All these things are getting compromised. Everything is getting compromised. So maybe we will feel punishment shall be disproportionate. Punishment shall be given not because you have committed the crime. Again, it's like you may commit a crime, or one person is given exemplary punishment so that others won't even dare to think committing that kind of crime. Right? Capital punishment for corruption. Different kinds. Yesterday, one of you are suggesting the guillotine, public execution. And in China, there used to be some practice. It was banned in last century only. It existed for over a millennium. Publicly, in a public place, the corrupted official will be tied to, a tree or something made of wood. And regularly they were tortured with some knife or axe or something so that, they will have a slow death, slow kind of execution. I forgot the name of that practice. Anyhow, if you see like that punishment, justice, no lynching, I forgot that name actually. Anyhow, so you see, yesterday only I was, stopping with an example of the teacher, right, geography teacher who used to beat students with the pine stick. Like, you know, the people who are lazy and people who used to laugh in the class. तो मेरे साथ बहुत होता था. I didn't laugh क्योंकि वो जो आवाज है, वो पिटाई की जो आवाज है वो यहाँ तक सुनाई दिया है. मतलब so we were totally frightened with that. We are afraid of. That is deterrence, the power of deterrence. Even the British in the earlier days, the East India Company, they used to execute some of the people who stood eye to eye against the company rule. They were executed in public so that others should not even dare to think. They shouldn't have the courage to think against it. I won't call it as deterrence, but it will create fear on some people. Okay. So the essence of deterrence is like it won't be proportionate, it will be disproportionate with the intensity of crime committed. Even the prevention, even for preventive measures as well, people will be arrested so that you won't commit the crime. Deterrence means fear, more punishment for one, so that that crime, nobody should in public shouldn't think. There shall be a fear in the mind of public. Suppose you are getting penalty means you will think, okay, chalo, it's okay. At the most, is this thing that is going to take place, right? That's the case. And people violate certain laws, right? Let's say not wearing helmet or smoking in public when there is some kind of penalty, smoking in railway station. So if the rule is like the police personnel, the railway police is going to take you to the station, then people won't smoke. If they say like chalo 50 rupees fine or something, then people will take the risk. There is no issue with that actually because they need to smoke. If it catches the eye of a police officer, they need to do it. That's all. In train, they don't have any other avenues. Okay, 50. More punishment. If intensity is more, 6 months rigorous punishment. People won't think actually. That time people will think like, yeah, in flight we don't get the scope for smoking, then why should we smoke in train? Bus forget up. Else means they will, punishment if it is proportionate in same crime means people may think. So some kind of crimes means, or maybe any kind of crime, if it does not need not recur again, you pick one, give him disproportionate punishment, so that others shall have that fear in them. It's okay, na? So that people won't think. That's why I was asking you for corruption, retribution or deterrence means deterrence. It's okay, not capital punishment, but still disproportionate punishment shall be there because somebody is choosing a job by knowing its implications. There is a quote of Kaudilya. It's like corruption is as a crime not only weakens or empties the treasury, but also affects the administrative efficiency and the national progress. That's true. Huge implications, corruption. If you want to get your job done, your rights done, you are forced to give money means also. You are getting a welfare scheme, let's say 100 units you are getting. If the officer is asking you 10 rupees for doing their duty, chalo, violating the duty if he is asking money means, even though not right, to some extent for violating their duty. I am taking the risk here means for doing the duty. Shouldn't you give disproportionate punishment for it? Right. But the problem associated with both these theories is that what critics generally argue is, see, one is definitely outcome based. In retributive means there is no, intent is that there is no guarantee if somebody is committing the same crime again. Same crime. Theft. He was given, let's say, 100 lashes, beatings. Okay, he's doing it again. habitual offender. Retribution means habitual offender. Matlab, he did a crime, punished, again that crime, punished. Means, that's not sufficient enough. He's committing the crime again. So we'll feel like more punishment shall be given. Right? During the time of Harshavardhana, when Huan Sang was visiting India, in his writings, the Chinese traveler, Huan Sang, when he visited India, in his writing, he says like, for, petty crimes, small crimes, punishment was like the limbs were cut off. हाथ पैर काट देता. So what could be the reason? Even though the crime may seem as small, if it is very common, if you need to stop it, we need to increase the intensity of punishment. In isolation, something will be a small crime. So we need more. We need to think about outcome only. It's like people will be proportionally doing the crime, arrested, coming out. It's not producing any tangible outcome. So instead of retribution, we may think of the deterrence and all. In particular, corruption kind of cases, deterrence is more justified, right? Disproportionate punishment is more justified. And also to determine what is the right proportion, it's very difficult. Our intent shall be not the search of nobody can determine that actually, proportion of the crime. Maybe intent won't be that much big, but the outcome will be like, it will be huge. You go for somebody is driving without a helmet or drunken drive. Only 100 meters to go to his home. चलो ठीक है, जाओ, नो प्रॉब्लम. एक्सीडेंट हो गया तो पुलिस took 100 rupees, okay, 100 meters. Outcome. He never had that intent. Never had that intent. Okay. So in crimes like corruption, collusion. Collusive corruption means both of them are happy. No coercion is there. You need some document. You need some, file to be sanctioned. You are giving money. The government official is sanctioning it. Both of them are happy having their dinner, and you know you will tell like, again come to me dubara ajana if you want to pay some kind of bribe. That's it. How will it affect the system? So deterrence, right? Proportionality we cannot ensure. We need to think in terms of outcome. Okay. So another scenario here is like, many people argue whether it may be retribution or deterrence. Maybe think about some social factor behind it. Social factor means, let's say, a person belongs to a family who have been ostracized, completely isolated by some kind of system there, some kind of, untouchability kind of system, something like that. That person is not getting any kind of opportunity. Poverty. For existence, somebody is stealing bread, food. Out of poverty, he has no other avenues. Nobody is giving him job. He has not been given proper education. But he needs to survive. Nobody in that society never thought about that family. Yeah, due to some reason, whatever reason it may be, they have been isolated. People are growing in that family. They are humans. They are not getting even basic opportunities for their existence. They may steal, no? Not justification, stealing, instinct. If at least few people have raised the voice against or even empathized with them, they are also humans, then perhaps that crime wouldn't have occurred. So many thinkers, bit of it's liberal mindset, they are of opinion that crime is rooted in social circumstances. It is the society who creates, the criminals. Many social systems creates them. Had somebody been given opportunity, always it said right, poverty is the cause of crime. Generally, the Naxalism kind of issues people associate with underdevelopment, lack of opportunities. And that too, somebody is intervening into your traditional way of life in the name of development and all. You are deprived of your basic opportunity, then people will respond. Any kind of crime, not completely justified, but it's like people try to link it with economic factors, socio-economic factors. That's it. But theft is same, na? अब देखो, it's like you are stealing. क्या बोलते हैं? You are already well off, and maybe when you stand in front of a bakery, you feel like eating a jalebi. You can have it after going home as well, but you don't have the money. Maybe you can relate it with your school days. I don't know. School days means maybe in the ninth or 10th standard only you'll be having the pocket money. वो भी very small amount. उससे पहले तो नहीं होता होगा. I don't know about. So it's like you will be feeling, yeah, right. So a person is stealing. After going home, they can purchase it. No issue that you are stealing. Another one means very hungry, no scope for basic existence. He's stealing a piece of bread from the hotel. No way out. Even in home, it is home, you won't get it. Are these two crimes the same? Same, na? Proportion. With respect to outcome, maybe the proportion will be the same. But whatever it may be, if you think from the perspective of that bakery owner, that is an issue actually. Any kind of crime is crime. But the people who support the view that the criminals means they are created by the system, they will say like the second crime, no, the first crime, the second crime, right? A person who is stealing out of hunger, crime nahi mana jata hai. It's not a crime, shall not be punished, it's a duty. Perhaps they will say that it is the duty of the hotel owner or the bakery owner to understand that they are well off. They should see, oh, this person is hungry because of this factor, it is also my duty, it is a duty of state. That's it. No connectivity issue, no, no lapse, right? Okay, fine. Okay. So what will we do in such scenarios? Getting right. Society creating most of the times people will try to link crime with poverty. If public servant is underpaid, simply asking underpaid, and they are getting over duty, by saying like, it is your duty to guard. You have chosen the job because of this. Earlier, I told in another sense, somebody chose the job because they know the responsibility. But after reaching there, the system is not considering you. See, anyone needs proper sleep. Never never compromise with that. Whatever task you are doing, you need some that amount of sleep so that you can function normally. That's it. You can't take nights out endlessly. Somebody is coming and telling like this is your duty, why you are sleeping. That amount of sleep, else biologically we can't function. So even if public servant, even during war time, whatever it may be, some that should be thought of actually. We have a misconception like if you have good sleep and timely food, then you are not doing your duty. Nothing like that. Maybe some people need only 5 hour, 4 hour, that's it. But only they themselves know how much they need to work, function properly, right? That's the case. 8 hour, it depends. So in that case, if public servant full of toxic work culture, the system is making them corrupt. Now they are not being paid enough. They are not being paid enough. They don't have any other avenue. They will say we are, you know, being criminal because of this. And also some people because of the some psychological factors. Psychological factors means no मतलब पूरा normal नहीं है. They need counseling. They need treatment. ये भी तो होता है. So that should be treated in different standards. The people how they respond. Means character trait means it's due to some mental issue. उसमें प्रॉब्लम है क्या क्लेप्टोमेनियक ने यू स्टील समथिंग बैंक में जाके पूरा पैसा ले लिया and you go into the court and tell like I am kleptomaniac, I need treatment, don't put me in the jail. ये होता है ना मर्डर करके बोलना है कि यार सोसाइटी ना I was very good actually because of this society only I became a criminal, that's it. ये भी होता है. That can happen. So if you go by that view means punishment will be like reformative theory, reformation, just like we discussed in Gandhi. No? Human beings are good. Reformative theory means mostly through counseling and all the theory. It's like punishment may be less, proportion of punishment may be less in comparison with the degree of crime being committed. People generally write the example in papers like essay and ethics of introduction of vipassana meditation in Tihar jail. Vipassana meditation, Buddhist meditation. Nowadays, in all the interview, majority of the interview forms, application forms, we do see Vipassana. This trend was not there some 3-4 years back. So I don't know that. Despite having philosophy option, I don't know at least till date how it feels like. People do recommend occasion. And they say like, Harari, the writer of Sapiens, they say like he every year he takes that meditation so that his performance gets enhanced. Anyhow, for criminals means ki proportion will be less. It kind of believes that human beings are good. Circumstances made them criminal. So bring them, attach them back to the society. That also is justifiable many times. Once you commit a crime in your childhood, or once you commit a crime because of the circumstances, some kind of circumstance, right? If somebody, is assaulting you, beating you in public for no reason, in self defense you murdered. Okay, you imagine you murdered in self defense, and that case is coming in the media. That will definitely come. Media का तो वो पूरा मजा है. They will bring that, and after media trial you are applying for a job. You are getting both. Society will look you through that prism, na, definitely. Maybe they won't give you, they won't hire you. It happens, they won't hire you. Yeah, डर तो रहेगा ना. If you own a company, somebody is giving you a resume, and in resume means lot of things are written. Achievements में कि I did one murder in self defense. Will you recruit him? This is what society makes because he did a crime because of circumstance. Maybe he's a better person than you. So वो क्या सोचेगा कि nobody is going to give me job. You will rewind. यार ऐसे मर्डर मैंने किया था. Right. In fact, once you clear, na, in the retrospect only you will be thinking what was your strategy for the exam. समझ रहे हो ना? Means if somebody is asking you what is the strategy for, नहीं पता, मुझे पता नहीं, मैं clear होगा नहीं होगा पता नहीं, I didn't take the decision. After clearing this, हो गया. Now let me think what I did. Likewise कि murder कोई job नहीं है. Let's think how I did it. अच्छा, I took the knife like this. So it's better actually. So you will become a criminal then. So what should we do? Give him chance, accommodate, right? I don't know. In the climax of the Durandar movie, it was shown that the central character Ranveer was a criminal and he was sent as the spy. Whether you have seen it or not, I don't know. But in part two, it will be evident. We am accommodating people. मतलब जहाँ हो सकता है वहाँ रख दो उसको. Or if you own some, if you have a department, once you are in the top of some department, accommodate. Most people like that. Will you do that? Is reformation actually. And many people have reformed. When you reform, when you show drastic change, the level of punishment will be reduced. And in jails, you will be taught, you are definitely you have to do some sort of jobs, some sort of labor, creative work, and you can even pursue your degree. ठीक है ना? Without any rent, people can prepare. कोई इश्यू नहीं है. ये तो लैंडलॉर्ड विल बी टेकिंग लॉट ऑफ मनी. तो इसमें कि 2 साल के लिए जेल चले जाओ, प्रिपेयर फ्रॉम दर. ऑनलाइन के लिए बोल दो मेरा फिलोसफी क्लास है, जेल वार्डन को बोल दो बस. So it's actually accommodating, people into the society. You can see many of the iconic things in many cities of India, places of India, created by the criminals in the jail. In Kerala, jail chapati is very famous. People go there, people won't think like who made it. Jail chapati बहुत सस्ता है बस. In many places in Agra, the handicraft, some kind of handicraft that is being sold by the State Department. I happened to see that once. It is being created by the jail inmates. And there are ideas like open jail. I think in Rajasthan. Open jail means people can go out within the premises. They can go out within the premises, not always under the bars. So 10 days back, I came across a news like two people fell in love there, two criminals, and they are about to get married. Commonality भी है दोनों के अंदर. They did two murders. So they are about to common. मतलब वही होता है ना, अपना एक ही वेवलेंथ का जो होता है, तब तो डेफिनेटली Just like you remember Sartre's example going for the coffee shop. वही बात है. So they are all different methods of reformation. ठीक है ना, वो नहीं लिखना है शादी करवाने से ठीक हो जाएगा वो नहीं, but no different methods reformation vipassana. And the Naxals, for Naxals there was a scheme like if they are laying down the weapons, their punishment level will be reduced so that they can be reaccommodated to the society. Actually, that is also very humanistic. Not everyone will be a kind of habitual offender, no? So once doing a crime means be see, people can only feel that only when they are isolated from everything. During freedom fight means it's a different scenario. And see, whether it may be in public sector jobs as well, they will be asking कि while going for the interview, UPSC interview आपसे पूछता है, have you been accused or judged guilty in any criminal case? Every year, one or two students while going for interview ask like कि चलेगा कि नहीं. होता होगा ना at times in college or something would have happened. Not with everyone. So they will ask. And nowadays means everything is tracked, everything is computerized. CCTNS, na, that everything is computerized. So that is an issue. We'll think like that was not a big mistake, but now why they are asking. And even going for a private sector job as well. If you are the boss, if you are the owner, recruiter, who will take the risk? If a person has been, let's say, wrongly accused in some case, people won't take, even though they have been proved free by the court. So what will they do? Everybody is excluding that person means. So that's the importance of reformist. Crime won't go into the nuances, the circumstances that led to that. Then only way is underworld. Bus. वहाँ पे तो there is no problem. If you have criminal record, yes, then you are recruited. नहीं तो आप जाके बोलो कि यार I got 90% in मतलब मैथमेटिक्स, जब भाग यहाँ से तब तो वो they won't recruit. Minimal criteria only in that company, right? But what is the problem? It sounds good, but the issue is like after committing a crime, you go and tell the court. It is because of the circumstance. I did it. Give me, मुझे तो reformative punishment चाहिए बस. I don't need a retributive nor this teleological reformative theory. Reformative theory. Some punishment. मतलब है कि I need counseling so that I won't do the crime again. और I won't do the crime, मतलब commit नहीं करूंगा, आधा कर दो, make it half. Lesser punishment. नहीं तो कान पकड़ के डांट दो मुझे बस, सुधर जाऊंगा, I won't commit anything. So that's the criticism. When you say like reformation means there is no guarantee. See, two people under same circumstance. Kant will be arguing like, let's say, identical twins. Same situation, they are brought up. One of them became a criminal. Another one became, a good person, good philanthropist. So it's up to the human beings. No? Even within adverse circumstances, there is no guarantee that you should commit a crime. And it's like if somebody is committing a murder, similarly that, accommodation theory is applied to some other case, reformist to some other case, let's say in Naxal. That's a form of mass violence, waging war against the state. So reducing the crime for one, for mass, violence, and on the other side for individual violence, no scope for this accommodation, that amounts to injustice. And how will the victims feel? You are stealing something, you are committing a grave crime, and you are giving reformative punishment means how will the victims feel? You have to counsel the victim's family by saying that an eye for an eye will make the world blind. Think with an open mind. Well, think with an open mind means "ठीक है, your whole family has been murdered by them. Like just like the Gabbar Singh who kills everyone in the Sholay, everyone. So we're like, no problem. Why you are having the revenge kind of attitude? Let's accommodate. And there has been rare occurrence. News like one person in Madhya Pradesh, maybe some 20 years back or something. Recently means 2, 3 years back, there was that article. It's like Madhya Pradesh, he committed a crime, murder. And that family, they decided to forgive him. And later means now he is taking care of them. So he was in the jail, he was repenting, now he is taking care of that family actually after committing the crime. Okay, just think. You need retribution or teleological approach or reformation. Yeah, for Naxals, ideology means Marxian ideology. Na? Waging war against the state means state is acting as a class instrument. Yeah. Yeah, see, any job you do, in those off days, na, at times, occasionally at those days, you feel like bad days, you will feel like, yeah, I shouldn't have done this job. Not a regular thing, but it happens. Always we feel the other side is green. But if you feel it the whole day or majority of the times, then there is some problem either with somebody's attitude or with that job. That's it. Perfect. Yeah, teleological theory. Everything, naming and shaming, they are all meant for teleological only. Right? That's the reason why good work culture in public service means good work culture needs to be created. Private sector means definitely for the case of uh, see, public sector means definitely there will be some element of self-interest. I won't say selfishness, but self-interest will be there. So if they want to retain the employees, good employees, they will create the work culture. Public sector means he, never be in the illusion like job is secure, we need not work. That's a kind of poor work culture from the side of employees. Once into the list or something securing means, okay, pension and all are secured on one side. But when they are in the name of spirit or service, when people are getting overburdened, that also state should take care of. There is no doubt in that because somebody is willing to do. And as you are citing the case of the police officers, perhaps they will be venting out their frustration in different ways. Yeah, juvenile case में होता है mentioned. Yeah, that question was also being asked earlier. What about capital punishment? Will it be supported? There are different types of crimes. No? You will be getting questions like for corruption, which kind of punishment will you prescribe? What you need to show? I know these theories, that's all. Reformation means a kind of character building. Whatever things you are studying for ethics kind of papers or the governance, how to reduce corruption means training, character building on one side. But there is nothing wrong in analyzing that disproportionate, saying that disproportionate punishment shall be given. Nothing wrong. Nobody won't think bad actually, because if you convince that somebody is choosing a job by knowing that it has got impact on the whole country, it's actually betrayal of social contract, betraying the nation. Without money the nation will have to be subservient to the interest of other countries. ये होता है ना, corruption से ही पीछे आता है ये होता है. You are having manpower, you are having the resources. Still, any nation is unable to, many African nations, they are blessed with a lot of resources. That system, due to some reason, is corrupt. The whole people who are staying, they are unable to make use of their opportunity. They don't know that they are having opportunity. They are having the rights. So that's the reason why corruption means it's not a small crime. System. It is the system which uplifts the people. If the individuals who represent the system, knowing its consequences, doing something in self-interest means disproportionate. This seems justified. Now, I'm not saying capital punishment, disproportionate punishment. So the reader as well feel like, this person knows it. Okay, so capital punishment, can it be justified in any of them? This question was asked actually in case of juvenile criminals. In fact, in the mm, case of Nirbhaya case, 2012, one of them was juvenile. Na? The main culprit was juvenile. And don't know the exact age, but still, even the 2611 attack means juvenile on paper at least. So, if the crime is that grave, it's a gray area. We cannot say anything on that. But in principle, means juvenile criminal should be given. But what is the age to fix it? That's the case. Even at 30, if you are having the juvenile kind of mindset, नहीं वो भी तो होता है. Or maybe at the age of 12, a person is thinking as cold-blooded as a criminal. That also can occur. Anything can occur. It shall be decided on case-to-case basis. That's it. Yeah, see, any kind of punishment won't give justice to the victim. Justice to the victim means actually, in the Nirbhaya case, let's say, capital punishment was given, but the scenario is that family has lost it. That's all. People may ask, when it comes to the capital punishment, is it giving the real justice to the victim or the family? Victim ko to definitely they are not getting anything. From the perspective of family as well, you see regularly in the media, this kind of news is coming. Their entire privacy is at stake. Even the nation let them stand with them. They are the people who have lost their beloved ones, means their life has transformed. Okay, we'll come back. So it's like, from the perspective of retributive theory, capital punishment means tit for tat, eye for an eye, murder for a murder. Proportional, you are not killing a person to ensure that justification. Your disproportionate punishment means it's like you are doing a crime, you are doing a theft, or you are committing a small theft, stealing jalebi from the bakery. Your hands are being cut for that. You are asking why? The state is telling that this kind of crime is now, it's very common in this place. So in order to prevent others from committing that crime, आपका हाथ काट दिया, don't feel bad. Nothing personal, only professional, ऐसे बोल. तो व्हाट विल बी द क्वेश्चन? जिसका हाथ काटा है वो पूछेगा कि यार खाली मैं ही मिला है क्या तुमको दिखाने के लिए? So retributive theory means proportional. Mostly the arguments given is of deterrence actually. Deterrence. Deterrence means in case of organized crimes and all, group crimes, one of them is being murder, means given capital punishment. Others who are likely to commit that crime, but statistical evidences are against it. One who is likely to commit that crime, they won't dare to think about it. They will think about alternatives. That's all. They won't commit the crime. And the prevention lets you see, suppose there is a habitual criminal, psycho killer, ठीक है ना? Feeling some sort of pleasure in killing others, always. Very dangerous, na? Even in the jail as well. Something he will do. We'll say that give him some, single room de do, condenser. क्या करेंगे यार? People will be thinking like, how far we can keep him inside the bar? But definitely, state of mind is like that. See, it's good to see in thriller movies this kind of thing. Real life means somebody is coming in front of you, na? So gaya. So capital punishment justified. Prevention so that you won't commit any crime. Deterrence. A public servant, public execution. Can't write. Nobody else is going to do the crime again. In cases like terrorism and all, at times people justify it like that. And the issue with, anything can be justified. Who determines? Always against capitalism, oh, sorry, this capitalism, capital punishment. it is said that, the court many a times want to go into the social circumstances. Many, if you don't have a good lawyer, if you have a good lawyer, means it's likely that it will get reduced. The a lawyer who will be taken in face value by the judiciary. So, ठीक है. Poor person means no lawyer. You go and will tell the truth. That day, in these circumstances, because of this factor, I murdered. I murdered me means it's okay. So circumstance, in crimes, so capital punishment means it's irreversible. Once it is done, it is irreversible. Any kind of mistake from the part of the court means some mistake from the part of the court means then you cannot deprive the life of a person. And also, as you are saying, capital punishment is not giving any sort of justice to the victim as well. Victim, neither victim nor victim's family. And statistical evidences means through deterrence, in case of organized crime or different kinds of uprisings, identity based uprisings, उसमें ये होता है कि somebody's terrorist is another person's martyr, वो लोग ऐसे सोचते हैं. So it may increase the level of crime actually. Killing one means he will become a symbol. 10 people again will come for organized crime. So capital punishment means it's like invoking the criminal tendency in other people as well at times. At times. The intent with which we will feel that people will fear. No, not fear, they will retaliate. Group crimes means they may retaliate. Then why should we give capital punishment? That is the criticism. Once it's like justification means mostly deterrence. And when it comes to retribution means maybe the social solidarity can be brought in. A particular crime has hurt the general conscience of the society. People will feel like, is there no justice here? So in that justification, so conscience of the society has been hurt. So they did. In Hyderabad, in 2019 or 20, a IT professional was assaulted and killed by group of criminals. And the police, they said like, the criminals tried to escape from the jail. And yeah, and that those criminals were killed by the police in encounter from the same spot where that lady was killed. So it's like, people at that moment feel, yeah, the justice has been served in encounter. Again, in movies, that may sound okay, fine. It's like, the revenge has been taken. Maybe the public emotion also gets satisfied. That's the reason why in Supreme Court, in one among the verdicts, it was telling like we can't go by take decision on the basis of public emotion. On the basis of reason and evidences only we can act. So that retribution, वो चलेगा क्या? Social solidarity to some extent, okay. But retribution means this is the case. It may make the system arbitrary actually. There won't be scope for free trial. And even many criminals are being tortured if they are into the jail by other fellow criminals in the jail. System, many a times turns a blind eye onto it. So capital punishment means in India nowadays it's rare, just like the Supreme Court is saying rarest of the rare case. Statistics also say like definitely in the earlier days, right from the earlier days, you see, the crime means uh, the people who cannot hire good, wakilis, lawyers and all, they are being executed. Others means they somehow find out some loophole, leeway out of it. They can do a lot of things. They can destroy evidences. So it's like actually the ones who cannot argue properly, the ones who are speaking the truth, they may get punishment. Right? So capital punishment means we can think from these are the theories, but on the other side means ethical perspective means there are a lot of you know criticisms, statistical criticisms, ethical criticism, and once a crime is being committed, we can cite like people have changed their heart after in the jail means they realized instinctively they would have done after these kind of reformative measures. ये भी होता है ना, not only from rights perspective. Suppose in the jail, a big philanthropist or a after coming out of the jail, see, humans achieve Himalayan tasks through their hard work and their conviction. Not necessary that you would have committed a crime. See, you might be knowing about J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter. Life में पूरा trouble था. By writing a book means, the whole world is reading it. Likewise, an individual, if they make up their mind after committing a crime, realizing that I did a grave crime, I should do something for the humanity. At least in rare cases, it can occur. If somebody is coming with that intent, why should we give the punishment? So these are all, arguments against. It shouldn't be there. And maybe the victim means मतलब उसका गया बस, nothing can be done on that victim's family. So prevention, reformation, attitudinal change. Okay, just think. Okay, so thinking from the perspective of victim or the family, many a times, even if suppose there is no capital punishment, reformation, they feel like justice has not been served. No? And suppose we feel like, if they feel like justice has been served, just an alternate, you cannot write that. Continuous torturing, continuous torturing of the criminal till death. Capital punishment means, okay, in 1 minute it's done. Continuous torturing, that we may say that, it's not a civilized way, right? We'll feel it's not a civilized way. And again, the question comes, what sort of justice we are going to give the victim? So the only solution will be like, okay, chalo, we need to feel like justice has been served. In the rarest of rare case, give capital punishment. Nothing else can be done. That's the scenario actually. We feel that social solidarity only. That's the case. No reformative chance based on. Yeah, means it caught the media attention completely. And also the crime was that grave actually. See, most of the crimes we won't go into the nuances, how something has been done. In some crimes, when we read, like, yeah, every crime is that much heinous. When you empathize with the victim, definitely we will feel in any case like we need to give maximum punishment. Most of the things means it's just a news. Na? We'll see like some crime has taken place. But how the crime has taken place was a padoge, it's the case. Okay, got the idea. Na? Crime and punishment, we need the theories, types of crime, capital, and only that. And when writing the answers means we can cite examples as well. In Europe, majority of the countries it is not there. In America, USA, some states have completely done away with capital punishment. In India, only in the rarest of rare case only that we can cite actually, even in philosophy question. Whatever things, if suppose this question very rarely, suppose this question is coming in polity, GS2 if it is coming regarding capital punishment, almost the answer will be same. You cannot differentiate that. Forcefully, we shouldn't differentiate. In GS2, if you are writing about retributive theory and deterrence, people can relate. Forcefully, you need not take away those terms. And option means if you feel like citing some statistics or legislations or international comparison, that is going to add value. Simply because it is optional, don't think like, I shouldn't write these steps. You can write in these kind of questions. In socio-political questions like governance and all, GS2, GS4, philosophy paper 2, they almost look like the same. If there is a question on maybe never it had come this RTI, corruption, almost they will be the same. Okay, this topic is okay. You will be getting opinion-based question. For corruption, what sort of punishment will you prefer? Or will you consider give capital punishment to a juvenile? The thought that is going through your mind, right, in any kind of question at this moment. Both thought chahiye udhar in the exam. What happens is like we will become mechanical there. We'll write like there are three theories. Rather than applying, we'll be biased to write points. Are you able to relate what I am saying? We may have a tendency to mug up through repetition means we lose out the the original instincts. When you go into the exam hall means trust the original instincts, whatever may be the paper. Beginning from prelims. Whatever you have done, do with full hard work, anticipate. Rest means some kind of instinctive improvisation will occur in any kind of performance. If we have done something means just leave it to that moment. That will take care. That will make you better if you have done well. Notice किया है वो चीज. Some 20% improvisation comes on ground actually. Whatever things you do. If you try to recollect what should I do, that won't be your best. Your best comes from your within, by trusting yourself. So these kind of questions means when you apply that, imagine an interview or speaking in the stage. You do a lot of things. But the best thing that comes out is like, go according to the situation. What is being asked, keep responding. Okay. Maybe you will be getting questions on different forms of government. It is topic number 4. Whatever things you study in general studies, that can be made use of. Specifically, 3 types of government are there, forms of government. Everything comes under social contract only. State, state, population, territory, sovereignty, government, and that government can be monarchy. What is wrong with that? Have you heard of something known as Magna Carta in the constitutional history of Britain? It's a social contract. Actually. Monarchy is saying, okay, we are signing an argument. I will do this. You this, receive. In return, you do your duty. That's all. So in anything, it is okay. Fine. So monarchy, monarchy, ruled by one person. Mostly, they believe in the theory of divine rights. The person from the same family will be ruling it. Is theory of separation of power a prerequisite for monarchy? Not necessarily. Is it necessary that there will be, provision for mutual checks and balances? Not a prerequisite, but good monarchs means they will create. Right? If you think from an Augustinian sense, the idea of sovereignty, law is the command of the sovereign. Law is what determines what is right or wrong. It comes from the sovereign. Who is the sovereign? It is the permanent identifiable sovereign. That is the monarch. Forget about good or bad. Not necessary that the people will have rights. Not necessary. Means it's like power is concentrated on one person. But we have seen good monarchs in the history, renowned monarchs. At least philosophically, we have the philosopher king. And when in Indian history, we cite some things like Ashoka, Akbar. We have some, iconic figures. But not necessary that they will be as good as we study. भी तो है ना. This monarch means power will be concentrated in one hand. But anyhow, we will say that they were, benevolent. The Maurya monarchy was a benevolent monarchy. You will be remembering that. And Ashoka had a past. Na? It said that Ashoka was, so brutal. It said that he killed his own brothers to assume the throne. And he killed many people, innocent people in Kalinga. Then he transformed. He gave himself the reformative theory. Na? Every sinner every saint has a past. Na? यही होता है. And every sinner can be transformed into a saint. Nobody did give punishment. In democracy means if some ruler is behaving in that fashion, some checks and balances will be there. Monarch. He did it. So what is the problem? You have philosophically, you have philosopher king or Raja Rishi, as in the Indian literary works. Raja plus Rishi. Just like philosopher king only. But practically means even monarchy as well. They will be bound by a lot of things. They will be bound by the entrepreneurs, farmers. Anything can happen. But in principle, power is concentrated. There is not necessary to have separation of power. There is no necessity to have elections. Why should you have elections? It's not people's rule. It's not the popular sovereignty. It's the monastic sovereignty that can be identified with the crown or the throne. That's it. Even we can see inscriptions right from the ancient times, like the kings were, they obeyed the directions of the counselors or the ministers. Good administrators, they would listen that. Maybe Ashoka, the version 2.0, he was better. The version 2.0 of Ashoka is known as Ashoka the Great. He advocated for the prevention of, killing of animals, animal rights. I am bothered about public welfare. Everything is there. But as a system, it has issues. Can constitutional monarchy be equated with monarchy? No. They are nominal actually. When a constitution comes means naturally there are checks and balances. The monarch will be merely the nominal head of the state. Do you know about theocracy? Theocratic state. Theocracy means literal translation, God's rule, rule of God. If a country is ruled merely on the basis of scripture of any particular religion, then it's a theocratic state. Just like Iran having a spiritual head, kind of theocratic state. Yeah, Vatican. Theocratic state. When you declare, when the state declares that, yeah, it will be ruled according to the principles of this particular religion. Problems, with whether it may be monarchy, whether it may be theocracy, problems are there. Maybe theocracy may be further worse if it goes worse. Chances of persecution of minorities. There you can link with religious exclusivism if there are sectarian conflicts. See, state means power plus religion, backing of religion. Weapon, everything is there. And also, mostly, whatever shortcomings are associated with religious morality, that comes in theocratic rule as well. Gender rights. If you are going to question any kind of traditional practice, they will be treated as infallible based on a scripture. You will be punished, but there will be lack of scientific temper. Modern ideals means they believe in secularism. Rule shall be separated from religion. Rule won't be based on reason. It will be based on faith. Reason in modern terms means reason is considered superior to faith when formatting, in creating the policies. Even the constitution, we believe means the constitutional makers believe it shall be treated as a living document, organic document, just like in the case of India, so that it reflects the needs of the people. Theocracy means ek baar likh diya to then you cannot change. How can you change? There is no scope for evolution. Just like the people who suffered during the time of scientific revolution in Europe, new kinds of invention, freedom of speech and expression. If I has a genuine doubt, just like we discussed in the problem of evil, right? Problem of evil means don't think like they are the arguments raised by somebody to tease a theist, not to make fun of them. Natural doubts. You can't even raise a natural doubt against a certain practice in religion. Like you, if you tell like, just say nail agra this practice, that will be blasphemy. So theocracy means there will be moral principles associated with religions, but in modern terms means secularism and reason prevails over theocracy. So reason and the science prevails over faith and dogmas, infallibility, evolution. Right? Is there any relevance? It may exist, but when thinking from the perspective of the national progress, theocracy can act as a hindrance. These are the general criticisms. So democracy, relatively better. Why I'm saying relatively better than the best? Democracy, there are types of democracy: direct democracy, indirect democracy, parliamentary democracy. Whatever you study in polity, na, parliamentary democracy, presidential form of government, everything is democracy. We need to know those points actually. The GS paper means that they will be really overlapping. See, there as well you can improvise the answers. Suppose we are getting a question on this democracy, principles of democracy or Indian democracy. Certain things can be added. Thinking style, analytical style can be added. See, what else can we write? Suppose very many years back, a question was asked on discuss on the different types of democracy. Can you create something? You can only write what is there, right? In modern terms, Abraham Lincoln's definition means government of the people, by the people, for the people. Okay. That is known as liberal democracy. Tenets of liberal democracy, modern terms means it's like free and fair election, multi-party system, freedom of speech and expression, independent judiciary, lot of civil rights. Tenets of liberal democracy, freedom that gives priority to freedom. Or even Rousseau may say, Rousseau, Rousseau. Rousseau would say like, yeah, accepted general will theory, general will. Will, you know the term will. Will means your tendency to do something, your interest, whatever it may be. So when you are just think about the traffic light problem, you have one will to violate it. There is another will not to violate it. Somebody is persuading. That persuasion, you are understanding, that's rooted in general interest of the society. That is general will. Democracy means it accepts, it reflects the general will of the society. It's a form of government. Don't bother about definition. They are all democracy. Liberal democracy means they are the tenets. This itself can be framed as a question. Would you call that India is a liberal democracy? To a large extent, yes. Yes. Why not? Yes. And that too, definitely after LPG reforms, the more rights we are having, the more the number of rights, then it is liberal democracy. No? Hmm. Right? If you are being asked like types of democracy, in parliamentary form of democracy, in GS paper also you are studying like the executive is a part of legislature. In presidential form of government means there is strict, there is watertight separation of power between the organs of the government. You know, right? Legislature, executive, and the judiciary. Legislature, lawmaking, executive, those who executes what is being created. Judiciary, no one who interprets the decisions made. That's it. Direct democracy, where can we see it in principle? In small states, you can see. Yeah, Switzerland. See, right to recall is considered as a kind of element of direct democracy. Plebiscite, referendum, everyone's opinion is being sought. Even social audit, I would say, social audit. Social audit, or, its root means Gen Sunwai. Sunwai, public hearing. Public hearing means, let's say, there is a scheme, MNREGS, MGNREGS scheme. The public official is telling like, this much money has been allocated, so and so people got it. Suddenly people are asking, no, I didn't receive it. If you are going to plan further some policy, you change. That's not going to be beneficial for us. Let's think about EIA, environment impact assessment, before project is being started. Gram Sabha, elements of direct democracy that everybody is having a say. In the ancient Greek states as well, the freemen had that, freedom with that. It sounds very pleasant, but I would say that, the possibility of corruption, it is there in direct democracy as well. Seeing this direct democracy only, Plato commented that he brought in the analogy of the ship. नहीं, वो scope नहीं है, provide. Writ means in philosophy means okay, we will stop by writ jurisdiction. Yes, nothing beyond. Only scope in GS2 when they ask about types of writs. That's all. So you see, Plato, you imagine, let's say, if you have work experience, maybe you can relate. Let's say you are in a company, you are an employee. Occasional meetings, 1 hour, 2 hour meeting. The problem that can be solved in, single minute through your thought or your direction. Why should we waste time unnecessary for 2 hours? होता है ना? You'll feel like why, these people who don't have the vision of running the company or solving the issue, they are, क्या कर रहे? You'll feel like I won't go for the meeting, बस. होता है ना? Unnecessary. Many a times it may culminate in loose talks. And also not everyone will be of, that equal level of reasoning capacity. Plato witnessed that. He felt like it is mediocre. When people are influenced, when the general public are influenced by the speech of the demagogues, who are good orators, who can convince people, it's not necessary now what is being sold, which is bikra. Is there any guarantee that it is the best? Nothing like that. There is no correlation. Demagogues. Suppose a film star or a sports person is endorsing a product, let's say cigarette. People have the tendency to smoke. Persuasion. So it's like demagogue mean they were good in the art of rhetorics, convincing others. So you feel like you are good to drive a ship. Even you will be having as an aspirant while studying, you will be having the thoughts like this policy shouldn't be like this. Some policy of the government, whether it may be in your state, whether it is normal thought of the foreign policy, why couldn't it be like this? Maybe because of our lack of knowledge, but still that conviction, that thought, you go to discuss, you see a lot of people who don't have that much of awareness. You'll say that the numbers matter, right? Everything has got its own shortcomings. Monarchy means I told you, in principle, it lacks. Theocracy means it lacks. Democracy, why I am focusing on what it lacks? There is a quote like, democracy is the better among the worst forms of government. Better, it is better. Okay, we'll see it in next class.